Hello, YouTubers. This is the Anonymous Reality TV blogger. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. I'm reviewing Love Island Australia, Season 3, Episode 8. And per usual, there is drama picking up as expected. So the episode, of course, picks up with the end of the episode 7, where Emily and Mitch are flirting, and he's saying that he's in trouble and doesn't know what to do because he still, of course, is, with Tina, but obviously has feelings for Emily. And also we pick up with a recap of the Hideaway with Ryan and Lexi. And also it shows like the following morning where they bring them breakfast, like croissants and fruit and everything else. Then after that, they meet up with the group in the villa, and then the guys and the girls disperse, and Mitch is telling, the guys, of course, he's still stressed about Emily, but then also Ryan reveals that in the Hideaway that him and Lexi made it to second base, but nothing went any further than that. And so Aaron, of course, is telling him that he's happy that, nothing went further and that he had a lot more respect for Lexi, that didn't take place. And then Lexi tells the girls that basically all of her eggs are in Ryan's basket. So that's kind of where we are. Then kind of quickly we get into a challenge. So a Love Island fave, the truth bike. And so for those not familiar, basically each of the islanders will get on this bike, and there's usually like a horn or a ding or something. And basically the islanders have free game in terms of whatever they want to ask. And basically the islander has to respond yes or no. Mitch and Emily obviously got the worst of it. Just some softball stuff. Ari got asked if she was still repulsed by sharing a bed with Ronnie, and of course she said no. Then somebody asked if the feelings were genuine for Ronnie since there was a recoupling coming up, and she said no, she genuinely does like Ronnie. Then there were some questions in terms of some of the islanders, like Lexi, were asked, if she felt that there were any couples who weren't that strong. And so she, of course, says Chris and Rachel aren't that strong of a couple. She felt that they had too many arguments and that it's superficial. And this is interesting considering the preview for the next episode, that this came from Lexi. And then also, really mainly Mitch just got worked. Just asked if, he coupled up with Emily, how would he feel? Would he be, sad that things didn't go with Tina? And so then he kept trying to hit both the ding and the horn to kind of say yes and no, but they're like, no, it's only a yes and no answer. Then Aaron asked if he found Emily more attractive than Tina. I mean, it was just brutal for Mitch and Emily in terms of the questions they were getting. I mean, they got grilled pretty hardcore. I think the one thing that it exposed with Mitch is that he really hasn't been as forthcoming to both women as he claimed. He's honest to a point, but also lies by omission to still kind of, hold back what he really feels for Emily to not hurt Tina, but then also gives Emily just enough to make her think that him and her have a shot. So the aftermath of this, of course, is drama. Tina is crying. Mitch is upset of just everything that's taken place, and she knows the reality of Love Island, that of course anything can happen, but just the way some of those questions went down and just how everything unfolded, she just was not happy, and it kind of got to her with everything taking place. So then early in the episode, we kind of just get right into the recoupling announcement. So everybody's kind of getting ready for the evening, and it's like an earlier recoupling because by the time the islanders are dressed, for their nighttime attire, it's still like fairly day out. So, Ari gets the text, of course, about the recoupling happening, and everybody kind of gets, dispersed and gets ready to go to the fire pit. So then first they have Emily go first to have her choose who she wants to recouple with, since she was the bombshell. And, she gets up there, she starts crying. And, Aaron's encouraging her to tell her, you can do this. There's nothing to worry about, this and that. It's part of the game. And so then she, of course, chooses that she wants to couple up with Mitch. And so Tina's crying. Everybody's all emotional. But that's who, Emily felt that she had the strongest connection with. So right after that, they go into the recoupling, which the boys have the power to choose who they want to recouple up with. So, of course, Brian chooses Lexi. Chris chooses Rachel. Ronnie, in a surprise, he chose Ari. So I found that to be a little bit interesting because we really haven't seen too much of their connection outside of the dance lesson and like one conversation. So I'm not sure if there's more brewing behind the scenes or if we'll see more of their connection now that they're coupled up. Aaron, of course, chose Jess. And then Taku, in a difficult decision, chose Tina and felt that, she deserved the opportunity to still find love and everything else. And so then everyone was emotional because they thought that maybe it would be Courtney would be dumped from the island. But then what happened, plot twist, those came through and said that that Australia had been voting and felt that Courtney was one of the top islanders who deserved to find love. But then in a cliffhanger, she said there's still more business to be done and that there still will be an elimination and that they're at currently 13 islanders, but they will be going down to 12. So there was not a preview. However, there is a promo going around, allegedly, that Rachel and Lexi were voted the least favorite female islanders, and one of them would be leaving. So that could explain why Chris and Ryan are in tears. And it's interesting that it is the two of them, considering earlier in the episode, they made it a point to include the episode that Ryan was saying that, he felt him and Lexi had the best chances of winning Love Island. And also the fact that Lexi was the one who said that she felt that, Rachel and Chris were one of the least compatible couples there. And for both of them to be the ones that are lowest rated or interesting. I'm not surprised at Lexi being voted low because I feel that a lot of it was probably pushback with just how she, it's fine as a bombshell. Of course, that's part of the territory that you are going to likely couple up with somebody who's already in a couple. But I think people were more disgusted and disinterested with just how smug and arrogant she was and her treatment of Ari. So I think that was kind of why she's probably voted low. I'm not sure about Rachel. How long ago? I'm trying to remember how long ago this vote was, but it could have been back, due to her and Jordan kissing and things like that behind Jess's back. Maybe that's where some of that's coming from, or maybe just the public doesn't like Rachel. But I'm a little bit surprised because I thought with this couple with Chris that she would be a lot more like. So it kind of seems like by the time that these votes happen versus the time that they actually come into effect, there's so much that keeps changing daily on the island. Like on the male side, I still feel Taku is definitely a fan fave. He's definitely stayed true to himself, but I wouldn't be surprised in terms of who the top female islander is shifts to maybe Tina at this point because of the Emily and Mitch situation, and Jess is taken off of that pedestal because people don't like Aaron also. And I have a feeling Aaron and Ryan will probably be the bottom two the next time there is an opportunity for there to be a vote, unless they just do it by the lowest voted couples. So we left off with the cliffhanger. Again, it is likely the beginning of the episode. We will pick up with them finding out who the lowest rated female islanders are. And since Courtney was voted most likely the one that the fans wanted to find love, she gets to stay. But as a result of that, somebody else has to go. So it'll end up being between Lexi and Rachel. Please let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will be back with another video.